good afternoon. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. Thanks so much for joining us midday on a chilly Monday, November 10th. If you were stepping outside this morning, you have my sympathies. It was very, very cold, and we will revisit the freezing mark or actually spend quite a bit of time below freezing again tomorrow morning. And we'll get into the semantics and the technicalities surrounding freeze warnings and why a good chunk of the area won't be under one to start the day tomorrow. Checking the visible satellite in today's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe, West Monroe, faster at any size disaster. Call or click servpro.com for more. This is the time of year where you need to keep an eye out for discolorations and stains and things in the walls and ceilings. And if you have any leaks, get those checked out ASAP. Jane, good afternoon to you as well. Not a whole lot happening across the area, but you do see some mid and, well, I'll call them mid clouds moving their way through portions of the Tennessee Valley. And some areas are actually seeing some radar returns in the form of snowfall. In fact, there was the outside chance that a flurry or two could pop up as far southwest as far northern Mississippi. Obviously nowhere near our area, but we have seen the snowflakes from occasion across the Tennessee Valley, and the snow gets heavier as you move farther eastward. In fact, if you were to hop over to my buddy Mike Witcher's page at East Tennessee Weather, he's got plenty of stuff going on across portions of Tennessee and into Kentucky, and to the point where roads are even having to be, tended to and treated. Of course, your radar products are always made possible by Brown's Roofing. Again, fair weather season while it's here. Schedule that free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. And on that note, don't forget about their clothing drive that is ongoing, their cold weather clothing drive. You can go to their Facebook page for more information. Lots of drop-off locations, and then, of course, you can schedule a pickup as well. Temperatures across the area, it's cold, duh. 41 in Little Rock, 37 in Fayetteville, 48 currently in Monroe, 45 in Jackson. Trish, you're very welcome, and thanks so much for hopping in at this midday forecast. May, good afternoon to you. Not a bad idea to drip the faucets tonight. Most locations, you really don't see a whole lot of plumbing issues and things of that nature until we spend extended periods of time below freezing, or we drop way below freezing. But we're going to get cold enough tonight that it's always best just to err on the side of caution with those types of things. I don't really feel comfortable telling folks a set temperature and going, well, if it's going to drop below this, then it's probably just err on the side of caution kind of thing. Same with all your outdoor plants. We left one plant outside last night, and I kind of went through the specifics of that this morning, but we're going to bring it in tonight simply because if there's a plant that just cannot tolerate sub-freezing temperatures, we're going to spend more time below freezing tonight. All right, here's a look at temperatures across the area locally. 45 in Winnsboro, 43 in Lake Providence. A lot of areas will struggle to get out of the 40s today, and in fact, along the Mississippi Valley, you probably won't get out of the 40s. Here's a look at some of the low temperatures from this morning. These are unofficial, of course, and they vary wildly depending on location. We went through some of the morning lows this morning, ranging anywhere from some areas 26, 27 degrees, while some areas didn't even drop below freezing. Obviously, the cooler spots were across far northern Louisiana and into southern Arkansas, although we did drop below freezing across portions of western Mississippi as well. Wind speeds, quite noticeable this afternoon, sustained in the 5 to 10 to 15 mile an hour range along the Mississippi Valley. They are sustained in the 15 to 20 mile an hour range. You combine that with temperatures in the 40s, pretty uncomfortable outside. And the gusts make it feel even worse. And those gusts in the last hour have reached up to 30 miles per hour along the Mississippi Valley. For the rest of it, it's been a lot of 15 to 25 mile an hour wind gusts. So what does that make it feel like outside? Well, here's a look at what we call the apparent temperature. This time of year, you know it better as the wind chill. But again, pretty uncomfortable out there. Tanya, I agree. Burr. Feels like the 30s along the Mississippi Valley, low to mid-40s across the rest of the region. Check a futurecast, and again, those northwesterly and northerly winds continue through the early part of the night, but in some degree, at some point, those winds will return to the south and southeast, and that's going to be more likely farther westward. Now, I froze it here at 1:30 in the morning, because that's when a lot of areas start to drop below freezing. So you're talking between 1:30 and 7:30 in the morning, let's call it 1 a.m. to 7 a.m., 6 hours-ish below freezing for a good chunk of the region. So take that into account as we go through the overnight. But those southerly winds will start to kind of sneak back in. So there are some spots in the western counties and parishes that may level out, not necessarily warm up during the overnight, but kind of bottom out in the low 30s to upper 20s and just kind of stay there. Meanwhile, along the Mississippi Valley, if you see those winds return to the south, it won't be until closer to sunrise, so temperatures should fall a little bit more so through the overnight. Again, Futurecast kind of advertises that here. Low 30s farther westward, mid to upper 20s farther eastward, where the winds will be lighter or even calm through the morning hours. Here's a look at my official low temperatures for the morning. I just refreshed this. That's not it. This is it. And here's a look at those low temperatures through the morning hours tomorrow. Again, I just refreshed the forecast. It's updated in the app, so new numbers opposed to where you woke up and saw those numbers this morning. Calls for most of us to fall into the upper end of the 20s at some point during the overnight hours, and then perhaps hovering closer to 30 degrees for some areas farther westward. Nonetheless, again, the cold weather alerts, the freeze warning is out tonight through early tomorrow morning for our eastern counties and parishes. I know you're probably thinking, why are we not seeing a freeze warning everywhere else? Here's why. Freeze warnings are kind of a seasonal thing. Once you've already dropped below freezing once during the season, freeze warnings stop getting issued. The freeze warning kind of signals once we verify, once we drop below freezing, it kind of signals the end of the growing season, and you're just supposed to kind of assume that we're going to drop below freezing somewhat frequently through the rest of the fall and winter months. It's kind of a once a season type of thing. Now, we could see freeze warnings again early next year as we start to kind of go into the spring months and freezes become a little bit more infrequent. If we have a freeze well outside the seasonal range, then you may see them again. But for right now, once we drop below freezing, and most of the area will drop below freezing tonight, you probably won't see those very frequently. And then we would start focusing on the air would have to get cold enough for us to have the extreme cold weather warnings and all those types of things. Futurecast is made possible by Bayou Power Sports I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. It signifies the same thing that I was just telling you. Winds return to the south tomorrow, and that leads the warming trend. That will lead to a little bit of low-level moisture that can move back in, and even some cloud cover as early as Wednesday morning, maybe even some patchy fog then as well. But the uninterrupted southerly winds lead a pretty solid warming trend through the rest of the week, back into the upper 70s, maybe even near 80 degrees by the end of the week, and that even includes the early half of the weekend. But we are starting to watch our next evolving storm system that will move through the central United States this weekend and what that means for our area. I don't want you to get really caught up in the timing of this storm system because some bring it in Saturday night. Some are now bringing it in much later in the day on Sunday. So timing is, we don't really know. Just being honest. We don't know. We know that a storm system's coming. And we also think that this signals, again, a fairly significant shift in the upper level pattern. That will allow not only this storm system, but perhaps another one behind it, middle to end parts of next week. Again, we're talking trends, not specifics, because once you get outside 5 days or so, nobody really knows what's happening. We can look at trends, we have general ideas, but in terms of trying to nail down specifics, it is absolutely pointless. If I show you this temperature or this precip outlook, it's obviously to, again, monitor the trends. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook. It shows that the middle to end parts of this month should get soggier, and that would probably signify some heavier rain events, maybe even some stronger storm events. Again, in terms of severe weather threats, I don't really have anything concrete to talk about. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on Saturday and Sunday, but there's no outlook for our area yet. The 8 to 14 day pattern, it's the same story. We will probably trend more active for the latter half of the month as we will for the early half of the month. That would obviously mean rain chances maybe trying to trickle back in, or an active pattern around the travel days surrounding Thanksgiving. Again, we don't have any specifics because it's November 10th, but it's something that we'll watch as we head toward the middle and end parts of the month because, to be honest, not a whole lot else happening. Not a whole lot to talk about in the short term. Debbie, Ethel, good afternoon to you as well. Yes, warmer weather is headed our way. You'll see that in the 7 days in just a minute as well. Daytime highs today, low 50s. Some spots will struggle to get out of the 40s. Winds will stay out of the north-northwest and stay breezy at times. Those winds should die down tonight and, again, shift back to the south. Overnight lows fall to near 30 degrees, but a lot of areas will spend a lot of time in the upper end of the 20s. And we'll spend extended periods of time below freezing. Again, freeze warnings in place along the Mississippi Valley. Everyone else plan to drop below freezing, again, for extended periods of time as we go through the day tomorrow, or overnight hours tonight and into the day tomorrow. Your Veterans Day will be warmer-ish as we get back into the low 60s. That's obviously a far cry from the upper 20s where we will start the day. We continue that warming trend pretty sharply through the Wednesday, Thursday time frame. Again, we're back near 80 by Friday, Saturday. I've kept the rain chances limited for Saturday. We've bumped them up for Sunday. Those rain chances are going to kind of waffle back and forth as we continue to iron out the details of that storm system. It will likely include some thunderstorm potential, and it may include a severe weather threat, maybe even a fairly organized severe weather threat. But there's no way of knowing at this point. And there's still a lot of discrepancies in the computer model data between now and then. So there's still opportunities for it to swing the other way. If you have weekend plans, Saturday, Sunday, I wouldn't cancel anything yet. If you keep everything for Saturday thinking it's fine, this storm system could speed up. If you cancel everything for Saturday, then you could be really disappointed. Same kind of goes for Sunday. We'll just kind of have to keep an eye on this and see how it pans out. That's pretty much a look at the forecast. Not a lot to the next couple of days. It's going to be cold, then it's warmer, then it's much warmer, and then we keep an eye on the storm system this weekend. We'll obviously let you know if anything changes. Latest forecast is available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the app available for Apple and Android users. Like I said, just uploaded the latest data about 20, 30 minutes ago, so give that a look-see. Make sure that everything is okay with you, and if you're not okay with it, that's the forecast. Sorry, don't know what else to tell you. And we'll join you later today. Of course, your fishing game comes out later tonight as well. And now I've got to get this heater situation figured out in here. Man, it's either the heat is off and it's freezing, or the heater's on and you're sweating. Got to finish fixing the vent situation. I'll get it fixed, though. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.